Okay, welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. I have Richard Wong, VP of Marketing and Creator Relations.
There we go.
#paid. Richard, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Tell us about yourself, tell us about the company, and I have a list of questions for you.
Yeah, so #paid is an influencer marketing technology company. And so we have a roster of over 15,000 creators from around the world. And what we do is we pair them with people who are running influencer marketing campaigns. So a lot of marketers and agencies. And every time you go onto YouTube or on Instagram and follow your favorite creators and they're talking about a different type of product and they're mentioning #ad, #sponsored, or our favorite #paid, that's all part of and usually powered through a technology platform like ourselves.
I can use this myself. I see immediate application with me. All right, let's break that down. How does that work?
Yeah, so what our technology does is we have a lot of our creators sign up onto our platform. When they're on our platform, we help them out with like how to price yourselves accordingly, how to figure out what your demographics are. We pull all of that information in. And so we have all that data ready, available for that. And when the marketers and the people who want to advertise come to us and say we want to run a campaign, we can be able to use our AI matching algorithm to be able to figure out exactly who are the right type of people from their audience, who are the right type of people from the psychographic standpoint, who are the right type of people even based off of like what car you end up driving, so we can make sure that you match yourselves up with a car that you actually genuinely love. And that's the incredible part about our platform.
I can see an immediate match with what we do because we have so many different market sectors and influencers that come to our show in the marketing of themselves and using your AI to connect with other people that they need to connect with. This is brilliant. Wow.
Thanks.
Tell me about the major brands and the campaigns you're working with now.
Yeah, so we do a lot of work, especially with a lot of the consumer brands. So we've worked with Coca-Cola, Toyota, Canon, just to name a few of those. A ton of the car companies, a ton of food companies, a lot of consumer goods. But we're also even seeing a lot of emerging groups from B2B play. So a lot of financial institutions have come up to us for small business loans and how do we connect different type of people who are influential in the business space to be able to connect people with how to advise and give their endorsements for products that they love.
Now, I know this, but maybe some people out in the viewing audience don't know this. Give us an inside look at why influencers are so important to brands. Yeah,
so the one main thing is, and my background comes from a bit of the media background, and our eyeballs are shifting. The part where even you guys have a show that's going to be distributed online, the TV set box doesn't really have the same type of power as it used to be. And so when people's eyeballs are shifting, people's emotions are also shifting, and the type of relationships that we end up having from a marketer's perspective to the actual people who are consuming media have shifted. We want to engage with the people that we believe in. We trust people who we embed into our daily lives, and the people who are following you on your social feed, these are people that you've opened up and said, I want you to send me information and I want to be a part of your life and all the content that you're sharing. And so for a brand to be able to play a part into that element is super powerful. More powerful than what we see in traditional advertising.
I agree, and so that you've actually been able to as a magnitude of 10x or whatever X you want to put on it, are being able to get more, if you will, using an old colloquial statement, more bang for your buck, because you're actually talking or contacting and interacting with action takers versus people who are just looking and passing through drive-bys, if you will. That's
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so even one of the clients who we were chatting with a week ago was saying that she was even testing the different type of creatives that they end up taking. And they got creative from the head office and the main group, and it's a car company, and they decided to promote this. And they tried to test this as well with some of the content that the influencers ended up creating, and the influencers performed 3 times better.
Yep.
And so we're just seeing that's the instant drastic changes already.
Tell me about the network as it is now and where you're going, your scope, where you are now, and where you see yourself, some milestones going forward.
Yeah. So in terms of the major platforms that we're on right now, it's Instagram and YouTube are absolutely the kings and queens of the social media world. That's the destination that people go to when it comes to looking for information, discovery, inspiration. The areas where if you're doing a home renovation, we're probably going to go and try to figure out like, how do I put up drywall? And you're going to go to your YouTube video, or you're going to be able to follow your favorite people on Instagram. And those are the major areas where we're seeing activations on. Now, that said, there's a whole bunch of emerging type of platforms. Snapchat's still around and still kicking, especially for the younger demographic. There's a lot of other aspects when it comes to how you connect, and the platforms are evolving itself. So we're seeing with Instagram especially, Instagram stories has absolutely exploded with the amount of growth that it's been able to see. They've also had Instagram TV, which is a more casual way than content creation than, say, producing a very well-produced YouTube video. And so we're seeing a lot of the eyeballs shifting over to a lot of these new platforms, and the platforms like the YouTubes and the Instagrams are the primary destinations that people are consuming media now.
I get it. You this year alone, I think we've seen something like 84% of the marketers are employing influencing marketing. Talk to our audience about that.
Yeah, so where we're seeing this is so I came from a classically trained background, and we used to assess our like media spend based off 70% is like tried and true, 20% is experimental, and 10% is like we're just going to go Hail Mary and see what ends up sticking to the wall. And we're seeing a lot of them transition from that 10% over to the 20% because they've tried this before and they're seeing those results. And I think you see that stat, 70% of them are taking that existing budget and doubling down or increasing that even more. And so there's a lot of people who are going from that initial test where they say, okay, our TV is not working as effectively, our digital marketing is not working as effectively from display advertising because people are using ad block. We need to be able to figure out a way that people actually want to do these ads. And these advertisements, if you think about it, people are blocking these ads. People are using their like fast forwarding and skipping through commercials because they don't like commercials. Right. They want people who are actually adding value to at the end of the day, and that's what influencers are able to do. So the influencers are saying they're embedding those storylines, those brand stories into their actual feed in a much more organic way, and that's like the really big powerful part. So people are trying this out, but people are seeing a lot of the value, and they're doubling down on this and going from that 10% to the 20%, and a lot of the smartest marketers we're working with are doubling down from that 20% over to that 70% of their budget, and that's the really exciting part about our space.
I believe it. Are you growing the company organically, or are you taking on investors to grow it at a faster rate with capital formation?
Yeah, so for us, we ended up, we were running profitable as of last year, but then what we've decided to do is this is a very exciting space, and so we took investments from a couple different venture capital funds earlier, actually a couple months ago, and we're doubling down and we're saying, okay, we're expanding across both East Coast. We have an office in New York, but we want to be able to launch into LA. We want to tackle it on a whole bunch of new markets, expand our service offerings. We're going to be launching a new platform as well. And so for anyone who's interested in that, they can go to our website and start to see some of the things that we're working on. That's
brilliant. I'd like to participate with you too, because this is a natural fit for what we do.
Yeah. Let's sign you up.
Yeah, definitely. On that note, somebody out there, people routinely get calls from our audience, and they invest in companies just like yourself. Can you allude to any of the financial models that, say, an investor would experience, and what your thoughts are? I don't want to get into too deep on it because there's some things you just shouldn't let out, but give me an idea. What is the financial model, if you can talk about it?
Yeah, so the way that it works from like a model perspective is for the creators, they sign up, they say what their rate is, and they get 100% of what they say that the rate is going to be. Now on the marketer side, when the marketers come to us with an overall budget or proposal, or they have a campaign, they submit this in there, and very similar to something like an Airbnb, we charge a management fee and a booking fee for a lot of this stuff. And so it's just scales as you start to grow. And part of that service is having our team teach you the nooks and crannies and be able to process a lot of the data that we end up serving and providing. And so it's just a simple percentage of overall fees.
Okay, so it's a very small learning curve that you ended up managing your own campaign. You don't. People are not coming to you to manage their campaign for you. They just need tips and guidance to move forward and to monetize it for themselves, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. So in terms of the way that we're working, we work with two different types of clients. Part of them will end up using our platform and they just want to be able to go in and experience and run some of the campaigns already preset. The other part of these groups will want us to fully help them and have a seat at the strategy table with them. And so we have a team of experts in-house that will sit at the strategy table and help them craft and design these campaigns and set them live.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I can't wait to see this in action with me. Is there anything I may have left out that you want to bring out to our audience today?
No, I think the major part when anybody who's experimenting or thinking about this is our number one aspect is authenticity is key. And so this space is growing really large. A lot of people want to get into this space because it's exciting. But the major thing that you have to realize is you can't lose that authenticity of who you believe in. So if you bank with Bank of America, you probably shouldn't be promoting another type of bank. You should probably be promoting the banks that you end up actually enjoying and actually loving. Likewise with your cars, because people and their audiences are smart. We know what everybody follows. We know it's authentic to their brand. And that's the really, really important part for both the creators and the marketers to understand. And that's what our platform ends up providing.
Great. Richard, thanks for being a guest on the show. It's been brilliant, and I know this is going to succeed like wildfire.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining. We'll be back with more great content just for you.
Awesome. Thank you.